What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Married at First Sight. And for those who are new to my channel, I do recaps of reality shows. I do a detailed review. May not hit every single scene, but I pick up most of the important details as well as some details you may not have noticed. And as you heard in my intro, I am YouTube's number one commenter. So what that means is this channel is all about the comments. If you aren't accustomed to making comments or you kind of held back, this is the place to start opening up, because here, that's the best part of the whole channel. We just get down in the comments, we laugh, we debate, go back and forth, even learn a little bit. But as I said, I don't have no real disclaimers on what's done out in the comments, because the motto of this channel is say what you say. Now, if you want to talk about Lindsey leaving Mark 3 times a week in a marriage, or you want to talk about Mark moving every 17 days from his mother house to his grandmother house to his whatever house, you can do that. All I ask is that we respect each other, because over here we have a wonderful community, and that community is the Dub fam. Say what you want about what's on TV, but stay respectful to our people, my people, your people. So let's go ahead and get started. The first segment we're doing is Mark and Lindsay, because with Married at First Sight, I do reviews for each individual couple. And as you can see, we've moved from the blue room. Ready to Love is over. I need inspiration for spring, so I want to get an openness and a feeling, like with transitioning. So who knows how long I'll use this as my temporary studio, but I just wanted to make a change. So we see, we take a look in, of course, we start out in the House of Cats with Mark and Lindsay. And Lindsay is feeding Mark grilled chicken bites, probably for the first time. Mark doesn't like to eat anything but goldfish and chicken nuggets or whatever. So I don't know if it's his first time, but it probably is. That's not a long shot. But Lindsay announced to Mark that he needs to take a home fertility test. And Mark looked very surprised. I was surprised too. It just came out of nowhere. Asking your spouse, telling your spouse that they're taking a home fertility test that day is something that you don't want to spring up. It doesn't matter whether you the husband or the wife. You just want to kind of have that conversation ahead of time. You don't want to put that on them, especially if it's a stranger who you've been married to for 60 days or so. That's just not a good look. But Mark, he's going to go along anyway, because Mark is just a pushover. He's definitely not a shark in the way he describes himself or whatever. And with this situation, if Lindsay is spearheading this situation, we know she's going to show up as her authentic self, as she always does. So after Mark eats his Lunchable and everything, she takes little Mark into the bedroom, and you can tell Mark, this is really, he said it, this is like really an awkward situation for him. And I guess to get his sample for the fertility test, Mark wants to use some inspiration off his phone. And, Lindsay, she's got a problem with that as well. Just saying like, your wife is here and I'm right here, and, I can help you. And of course she makes Mark accept the process of her helping him get the sample. And I mean, when Lindsay talks, I just cringe so many times. I don't like even to hear her speak, because she's, in her mind, she's going to keep it classy based. And what classy based looks like, she told Mark that his sperm, it just doesn't look healthy. It looks like some Elmer's glue with the cap been left off for a week. And then you think that was bad. She took it further. Lindsay said that it's very difficult for her to look at her husband's splooge put in a cup that you would see at a fish restaurant. Like, for real, I'm certain that Mark didn't ask for a wife that speaks like that. I can't imagine anybody would. But crazy enough, after it was over, Mark seemed more nervous than ever. And I was wondering why. But Mark did explain. He was like, well, when he was younger, he took some type of growth supplements to make him bigger and stronger. Something like steroids. And for those who don't know, steroids can affect so many things, including fertility, susceptible to catching cancer, all kind of things. So Mark is wondering, like, did I mess up when I was younger? I guess he was trying to be the best baseball player. He was, but it came out that his test was positive. He said his little sharks are swimming and they're ready to find some eggs. But Mark really didn't want to participate. Now, he was just happy that, he was fertile or what have you. But he was talking about he may have some kids with Lindsay way down the line. And I'm thinking, like, Mark's 38, Lindsay's in her mid-50s. Like, how long are we going to wait? But, of course, they're not even ready for marriage. So kids, I understand he wants to put on the back burner. He doesn't even have a job or a place to live. So I get that part. But, I mean, people say it all the time. Well, you can have kids all into your 40s. Chris Rock said you could drive a car with your feet. Don't mean to do it. That's not the best time. It's health-wise. I guess your age-wise, when you're looking like I'm going to have a teenager when I'm 60 years old. That don't sound sexy at all. But let me not go too deep into that. So we see Mark. He meets up with his friend John, who he had met up before, I guess, to get advice from. And John wants to know, like, how things going about, with the coming decision day. And, of course, Mark has another bad week. And at this point, I'm starting to believe that Lindsay was right about the Mark life coming, like, is in shambles at this point, because what we're talking about, what a bad week consists of Mark. His cat just died of 14 years. His mother had to be admitted to the hospital, I guess, in full-term care because she's having trouble getting out of the bed because she's heavy and depressed. So, we got some people in the Dove family kind of brought the theory out, like, is Lindsay kind of pushing that towards Mark? That aura, that feeling, that negativity or something. And I mean, it's a thought, because it's like everything in his life is crumbling, from his mother, his grandmother, his cat dying, he lost a job, he got evicted in 2 days. I mean, it's getting bad. We talking about in a 60-day period. So I'm kind of saying that. But we see in a situation where Marcus, he wants to get advice, but however, what Mark doesn't do, he doesn't always share, like, everything that's going on. He'll say, well, it's a lot. It's a lot, but there's some good things and there's some bad things, and Mark really appreciates how Lindsay, like, helps out with his mom. And it showed where, like, Lindsay is actually, I guess, talking to his mother, I guess, trying to get her motivated to get up and do something, or change the way she's living and all that, and as well as assisting Mark with cleaning up his mom's house, because I guess it was pretty much they're living in it, but it was like it was abandoned with all this trash all over the place. And Lindsay has really been there for him in a sense of that, and Mark appreciates that part, but he's pretty much saying, like, it's the other side where, like, they're arguing every week, and he doesn't want that. He don't see himself moving forward with that. And his friend John was pretty much encouraging him, saying, like, well, you fit better with a person, so she's there for you when it matters. So that's, like, all you should be focused on. You should be focused on how are things right now, not what happened in the past. But I can see John coming from that perspective. However, he doesn't know the whole story, like the way Lindsay pokes at him, the way Lindsay gaslights him, the way she's emotionally and verbally abusive towards Mark. And see, John doesn't have that part. No matter how much Lindsay helps, I got to put that helps, because I don't really see that help as genuine, because as soon as she gets mad, she'll throw it right back in his face and tell him, I helped clean up your mother's roach-infested apartment and your your mother's so fat she can't get out the bed and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that kind of help. If it take me a whole weekend to do it, I'll do it by myself. Lindsay can't help with nothing. She shouldn't be. So it's just the fact that Mark is like just so passive and he doesn't like confrontation, so they can really never, I guess, get an understanding of what's going on. It's all like the focus is it's always on Lindsay, and he at this point he should not take his friend John's advice because he doesn't know the whole story. So the next scene we go to, we see a meeting from the blind leading the blind. Who is that? That's Olajuwon and Lindsay. And they meet up at like a little park bench, and Olajuwon's checking on like how Lindsay and Mark are doing. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a forced scene because they say, that's why I don't like the spoilers or the extra stuff, but it's been known when Lindsay runs out the door, she's going to the rooftop to meet Olajuwon for a smoke. What they smoking, I don't know, but they talk often. And to me, it's a very strange and odd couple because initially Olajuwon and Lindsay, they were like enemies pretty much when they were on their way to Puerto Rico when they got on an argument at the plane, but now they like best friends. I guess once Lindsay had apologized to Olajuwon in the DMs, and Olajuwon asked Lindsay, and within their marriage, is it more pros than cons? And Lindsay says yes. And Lindsay's lying. When she gets mad, she tell you the whole story about how Mark, life is in shambles. He's not satisfying her sexually. He doesn't affirm her. He has no life in him. Just all that kind of stuff. None of that is pro, and it's like some deal breakers for most people. But she's, I guess they okay for this week, so she's going to lie to Olajuwon. But really why I say like how it's really odd that they're together, they're like one and the same. Olajuwon and Lindsay, they rule over their spouses, verbally abuse them, never take any accountability, and they just, they only have a short perspective. They got blinders on it. They can never see the wrong that they do. Lindsay, she got a little different ways where she like to help you, but she want to throw it in your face. That's a little something different. Olajuwon ain't helping with nothing. He's not a teacher. He's not. The wife should already be together and ready for him and already made up for him. So Lindsay tells Olajuwon that she really has a problem with Mark, how he seeks out advice from everyone else but refuses to talk to her. And Olajuwon pretty much explained when he comes to talk to us, he's really he's trying to make sense of it all because he pretty much knows you will pick him apart. We see on camera the way Lindsay talks to Mark and picks him apart, and he's so nervous and his eyes get to twitching and won't blink and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, he doesn't have a safe space with Lindsay. So I don't know why she's surprised, but as I said, she can never see herself. She sees nothing wrong with how she speaks to him or what she's doing to hurt the situation. But as I said, Lindsay and Olajuwon one and the same. It's like they talking in the mirror. So we see Lindsay, she's meeting with her work wife. I hate that term for a man or a woman. Y'all messing around. What y'all doing? I don't know. We're so close. We're married. Whatever. Anyway, Lindsay, while she's talking to her friend, she takes, an opportunity always, if she gets to speak, to talk down about Mark. She describes the marriage with Mark as like a roller coaster. They both say that. That's normal because it is up and down. 1 minute they mad. Like I said, Lindsay leaves the marriage like 3 times a week. But she says that Mark is like rigid and he suffers from like an only child syndrome. And I'm like, that sounds like you. I can't say we know Lindsay has siblings or whatever, but Lindsay is the one who's inflexible and only sees and has to have it her way, or it's not protecting her or considering her. And Lindsay's friends pretty much said that Mark was a nice guy, but he came off like real simple and plain, like white bread. And Lindsay said, yeah, he's pretty much like white bread. He's like one step away from tennis shoes with Velcro on it. Nothing flattering. Mark's a softie. Stuff like that. And as I said, that doesn't sound like there are more pros than cons. I don't think she said anything good other than like I guess he's an empath. He's in tune with his emotions and but somebody has to be because I guess she's not. And one thing I could say about Lindsay, even after all the bashing, she makes a good assessment about what Mark may be going through. She's saying like maybe I'm not getting the authentic Mark because like he's overwhelmed with pretty much his life being in shambles, so he can't operate in a regular mode. But I think that's a part of it. But also I believe Mark is like afraid. He's pretty much become his own father whose mother who badgers him, verbally abuses him, and he just handled it the same way like his father. Just, I guess, trying to ignore it, but it's killing him. And at this point, so like I keep saying, Lindsey is telling Olajuwon that there are way more pros than cons, and then she even tells her friend that there is no spark in the marriage. Some of that Jasmina stuff. So you add that all up. There's no way that this should be like a yes on decision day. She didn't say anything good. And the friends just suggest like Lindsey needs to take time to think about everything and make sure everything is, I guess, balanced out and make a list. And Lindsey's like, well, it might not come out in his favor. She always got something slick to say about Mark or negative. And Lindsey went to a thing where like, oh yeah, this is this will be my first husband, but it may not be my last husband and all that, just insinuating like they're not going to make it. And I really don't believe they'll make it, even if they say yes on decision day. There's no way that this can be sustained. So the next scene, all the couples meet up. They play flag football. They get together. This is the last time that all the couples are getting together for a group activity. And they look like they're having big fun. And something I got to point out, certain things. They're sitting out there playing, I guess, or before they go play, they got all variety of pieces just sitting out, like, on the table. I mean, they might have something under them, but, like, just to have your food just sitting out, you can't cover it up or nothing like that in a public place. I was like, oh, my goodness. I'm not hungry no more. I don't want no pizza. I get some when I get from taping. So the group, they seem like they're having a lot of fun because everybody's participating, they're performing well, everybody looking like athletes out there. So I would say everything's going well, but what do you know? And we're going to transfer this name from Lil Michael to Mark. Dark Cloud Mark. Dark Cloud Mark, he gets hurt in the game. And like I said, his life is in shambles. Something's always going wrong. What is it now? What is it now, Mark? What is it? He's like, oh, I need a doctor. I need a doctor. And the nurse Lindsay gonna get there and she gonna poke and prod. She might even know what she's doing, but she lets it know that hey, I can fix it. And Mark's like, no. He don't want it done. That's the last thing that we want from oh yeah, I gotta excuse me that noise. The last thing we want for Mark is for him to get hurt. He don't have no health insurance, so that is a concern. We need Mark to get better. But come to find out, Mark isn't actually injured. He caught like a cramp because he isn't hydrated, and Lindsay's been telling him that. Like she said, from the sperm sample, that he has, he needs to drink he just drinks a lot more water. Mark eats goldfish and drinks juice boxes. So, yeah, if he's out there doing strenuous exercise, he's going to cramp up. So, while they finish, Mark is all right. Everybody finished the game. Moderator Steve tries to bring up how everybody's, how they feeling towards decision day. And Mark says he feels pretty positive. But then Lindsay says, like, that passive-aggressive thing she do. She's like, I'll let him know. And guess what? What if Mark did that? Lindsay would have went off. She would have threw all the footballs in the trash, set the building on fire, claimed everybody was against her, including Mark and production. all of that. She does that often. But Mark can't say, oh, you're hyper. That's ridiculous. Who wants to live like that and walk around on eggshells? But, okay, Mark don't care. I shouldn't get so worked up about it. So, Mark has planned some type of surprise with Lindsay. Of course, she's poking him and bothering him in the car and everything. Well, just won't let him be. It's not romantic. It's not affectionate. It's nerve-wracking. So, we come to find out Mark is taking Lindsay to his mother's house, who he just put in the hospital. He didn't clean it up. He didn't just clean it up for nothing. He plans for him and Lindsay to move in there in the apartment if they say yes on decision day. And, Lindsay doesn't seem too thrilled about it. But truth be told, you can look at the spot. It may be, let's say, outdated, but the dining room was bigger than Lindsay's whole junior one-bedroom apartment. Maybe it's the location that she loves. But, Mark, I'm starting to believe Lindsay in the sense of, like, he is so looking to go back to his childhood. He wants to be wrapped in warmth and love, and he wants to live in a house. And, he's getting all sentimental and stuff. And Lindsay's looking around. She's looking at the decor and everything, looking at the walls. And she didn't even listen to Mark. She like, well, if we're going to move in here, I need a $500 budget. I need to get some paint. I need to do the fixtures. I need to get the cabinets changed. I need to do the floors. You sound like you need a $7,500 budget instead of a $500 budget. But, Mark, he just doesn't understand. He feels like Lindsay is trying to do the same thing he did to her apartment, like throw everything away, because Lindsay doesn't feel comfortable there. She's saying everything feels old and not her taste. And I get both sides of it as well. Lindsay doesn't want to move into Mark's old life and his old house. She wants to get a place that's theirs, not living off his old memories. So I see that all day. But Mark is like, dang, be grateful. We got, I sent my mother to a home. Now we got somewhere to live that's bigger and better, what have you. But I just don't see them staying together. Like I said, unless there's some type of cash bonus to stay together, because there's nothing positive about their marriage. And I just don't know why they would say that. And Lindsay at this point doesn't want to be pushed into that house and then have to just live Mark's childhood all over together. He don't want her to change nothing. He wanted to keep things the same, but she wants to throw everything away. So I just don't see any of that working at all. And at this point, we can't get away from Mark doesn't have a job. Lindsay was ready to have a baby, of course, because her clock is ticking. So I would really be surprised if they stay together. So pretty much, they're just saying that their goodbyes at the what do you call it, at the shared apartment. And Lindsay can't leave out the passive-aggressive jokes about are you going to miss me? I'm going to be gone, not for the night, I'm not coming back or whatever. And, Mark just deals with it the best way he can. And I don't know how he stands there. And even when they try, I don't see the connection or any type of romance or any of those feelings, because Mark looks tired of her. He's just trying to get through the process. So pretty much that was it. Again, the next episode is going to be some type of past cast episode of people that are giving their opinion. I don't really want to see that, and I'm not going to review that. Then I guess we'll have to wait 2 weeks to the actual decision day. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. I did Mark and Lindsay first, which I usually do last because I had a lot more notes on them, and I just wanted to get them out the way because I'm tired already. So, again, keep rocking with me. Thank you for your patience. I've been delayed through my real estate journey. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.